Had others in the House, too. Kevin McCarthy saying, what the president said wasn't so bad. I don't know why this is so difficult. You used the word sad earlier. It is sad for the country that these Republicans, in this case and others, can't put the country over their fealty to Donald Trump, but they continue to do it. And here's Leader McConnell shrugging off the president's comments, expressing openness to foreign help in the 2020 election. Here's part of what the president said first to ABC News, followed by McConnell talking with Fox News last night.
Your campaign this time around, if foreigners, if Russia, if China, if someone else offers you information on an opponent, should they accept it or should they call the FBI?
I think maybe you do both. I think you might want to listen.
Do you want that kind of interference in our elections?
It's not an interference. They have information. I think I'd take it.
Do you have a problem with that answer? Because the Democrats seem to be taking that and saying, aha, see, we told you so. Now it's on to impeachment.
They just can't let it go, Laura. You know, I said weeks ago, case closed. We got the Mueller report, the only objective evaluation that will be conducted. Nobody has any confidence that the Democratic House is going to engage in any kind of appropriate oversight. The case is closed. Why don't we move on?
Do you think the president made a mistake in the way he answered that question when he said, maybe I would, maybe I wouldn't? You know, I'd hear him out. Would you answer that question that way?
Well, he gets picked at every day over every different aspect of it. But the fundamental point is they're trying to keep the 2016 election alive and the investigation alive when the American people have heard enough.
No, actually, that's not what anyone's talking about right now.
That's just such a lie.
Joe, that's
he's such a really, he's such a liar. I mean, I'm sorry. He's just lying through his teeth.
Yeah.
And let me tell you something. If Mitch McConnell were approached by the Chinese with dirt on his opponent in 2020, he would call the FBI. He would call the FBI. Yep. Every other liar on Capitol Hill that's claiming that what Donald Trump did was okay would call the FBI. They would all call the FBI. And Mitch McConnell wouldn't even answer that question because we know what the answer was to it. And him saying the president gets picked on too much and, quote, case closed? How sad. I mean, listen, he's got to live with himself, and he's going to have to live with himself into retirement. I hope he enjoys his legacy because this is it. This and Merrick Garland, that's his legacy. Hope he's happy with it.
And, Donnie, the question is not about the case closed, not about the 2016 election. George Stephanopoulos asked Donald Trump in the Oval Office, what about the next time? Have you learned anything from the experience of the 2016 election and the Mueller investigation? And he said, no, I'm wide open. I think I would take it. So we're not talking about the last election. We're talking about the next one.
Obviously, the thing when you watch the tape with Stephanopoulos is how authentic Trump is.
Yeah.
It wasn't even a question. Well, wouldn't anybody? I mean, that's the the one thing about Donald. He just continually shows himself, but it was kind of like
very mob bossy.
Yeah, well, of course. And you know, Mitch McConnell. Now that Republicans are becoming the non-democracy party, this is the same guy in the same party that would not vote for $250 million to make our voting machines safer. Think about it, with all the money in our government, $250 million, to just say, let's safeguard our voting machines. No, thank you. We don't want that bill. And, you know, Joe, you've talked a lot. You were talking about McConnell's retirement, and it's interesting. We opened the show with Sarah Sanders leaving and Kellyanne Conway hopefully soon leaving. Don't any of these people understand that there is life after Trump and that this is a moment in time?
This ends badly.
And do they not understand the toxicity and the cancer that stays with them after every single one of them? You don't have to be the most potent Democratic strategist to understand that they will carry this legacy the rest of their lives.
You know, they're going to have trouble getting jobs in Washington, D.C. for the rest of their lives, especially these people that have been out lying without shame. But, you know, I wanted to, it's very interesting. You were talking about how Donald Trump was doing this all in plain view. And I just, as somebody that has known him for a while, I want to have a quick discussion with you and get your thoughts on it. Because, you know, Miko saying when he did that, she said, oh, you know, this guy is so bad. And other people say, he's so evil, he's so evil. I said, well, yes, okay, yeah, I get what you're saying. But wouldn't a truly evil guy have answered the question to Lester Holt? No, that's not why. Wouldn't a truly evil guy say to George Stephanopoulos, of course I would report it. I would report it instantly. In fact, do you know what? I've hired 3 lawyers, and they're going to be scanning throughout the entire government. We're going to have the toughest task force on foreign interference ever, while he's actually calling China and calling Russia, say, hey, you got anything? You got anything?
No,
That's the thing about Donald Trump. Now, let Donnie answer, because I know you're going to say Donald Trump's evil. That's the thing about Donald Trump. It's all in plain view. And I know people are saying there's a 3-dimensional chess deal and Donald's just trying to do that. No. Come on. Stop. This is a guy that just blurts out whatever is in the front of his head at the time.
He's a bad dude, but to your point, Joe, it's interesting. It's almost childlike, whereas you take the cookie. Did you take the cookie before? No, I didn't take the cookie. Where he just genuinely doesn't think it's wrong. That's how demented, whatever word we want to attach to him, that in front of the entire world, well, why wouldn't I? Wouldn't everyone? So you could almost say, is he evil, or is there just no moral compass?
All right.
There's not even a compass there to even look at.
I think want to take myself out of a box here. I never said he's evil, and my reaction is not, oh, he's evil. My reaction to what happened the other night when he said that to George Stephanopoulos was, this is horrendous for our democracy. He is a national security threat. And what he does is not stupidity. What he does is not evil playing out before our eyes. What he does is he manipulates the truth. He desensitizes the American public and the world to what is right and wrong, and does things in plain sight. And the results are evil. What happens in a dictatorship, what happens when evil forces step in, is this: slowly chipping away at our values, slowly chipping away at our democracy. And that, whether he knows it or not, whether he's planning it or not, whether he gives a damn or not, that's what's happening.
Well, just to clarify,
that's what
Mika,
I meant.
The lawyer that I am, I did not say that you said he was evil. I said
I'm telling you what's
upset.
happening.
I said others said he was evil. I hear what you're saying. I have a little different opinion about this Gene Robinson. I could be wrong. I've been accused of being overly optimistic many times before, and of course, as you know, I'm wrong every day. But in this case, I think this is a temporary phase. I think these Republicans have already paid a horrific price. In fact, I will say this. I was talking to Mika, and we were talking about, they were showing clips of the Helsinki summit, and I said, date on that. Helsinki what? Helsinki 2018. You know what happened in 2018? It's the biggest electoral rout ever in a midterm election. Democrats over Republicans. I think he pays the price. I think people around him pay the price. But I think, again, for me at this point, I've discounted Donald Trump's constitutional attacks into it. Right now, I'm focused on the Republican Party and how shamelessly and how cravenly they continue to allow these constitutional breaches or these breaches of constitutional political norms to continue. They are the ones who will be paying the price long after Donald Trump is golfing in Mar-a-Lago.
Well, I certainly hope so, because what Republicans have done is sell their soul to Donald Trump. They have abandoned all their values. They have done a total 360 on positions that they held for decades. You are right that anybody, Mitch McConnell, Lindsey Graham, any of them running a campaign, if they were approached by, a Chinese agent or something like that with during a campaign, of course they would call the FBI, and of course they know that that's what any candidate ought to do, and they won't say it because they're all in with Donald Trump. It is Donald Trump's party now. It is the Trumpist party, period. I do want to note that what President Trump outrageously said he would do in the next election, he actually did do in the last election. And I don't think we should forget that he actually did it. He actually did welcome and encourage help from a foreign power to help him win an election. So I'm not terribly surprised. I guess I'm surprised that he'll say it out loud. I'm certainly not